Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavamahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Arjuna Uvacha Sthitaprajñasya ka bhasha adhistasya keshava sthitadi kim prabhasheta kimasita rajeta kim. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajapati yada brahma Sarvan Parthamadhoganan Atman Yevatmana Tushtaha Sthita Prajnastadokchate Dukkeshvanudvignamanaha Sukeshu Vigatasruhaha Vitaragabhayakrodha Sthitadimunirudchate Yah sarvatra Tata prapya shubhashubham Nabhinandati nadveshti Tasya prajna pratisthita Vishaya yada sambharate chayam Umonganiva sarvashaha Indriyanindriyartebhyaha Tasya prajna pratisthita Vishaya vinivartante Niraharasya dehinaha Rasavarjam rasopyasya Param drushtva nivartate Yatato hyapi kaunteya Purushasya vipaschitaha Indriyani pramatini Due to unavoidable reasons, Lalitji had to attend to certain other urgent appointments. So he had requested me. Am I audible at the back? Yeah. He had requested me if I could take the afternoon session. And so tomorrow we will not have the scheduled session of mine. He would take that session. So treat it as session 2 of the 5 lecture series. So go ahead.
So happy to be able to attend this lecture of yours. I had this question of what you explained in the morning regarding Kaya, the food, the body, the mind, and the intellect. To me, the mind and the intellect, it's one and the same. It's your that the knowledge is being gathered, interpreted, understood, all the action, everything is happening here. So when you make a distinction between the two, I'm difficult to grasp it. So whether you say the mind or the manas, are you saying it is the anatomical aspect, the intellect is something that is controlling the mind?
Right. And your good name, please?
Asha.
Asha. Right. So the the gist of the question is, she took out from what I said in the morning, that there is the buddhi, the intellect, and that there is the manas, the mind. So it is the buddhi that should govern the mind, and the mind that governs the senses and the body. So the question is, what is these two manas? What is this mind and intellect? Is it a part of the physical anatomy? Is it something other than that? I'm glad, Ashama, you asked this question, because not many understand the difference. In fact, the mind and the intellect are the two vehicles that drive you from experience to experience. All your life, it's like I use my limbs to move around. You use your mind and intellect to take you from experience to experience. So your actions are either driven by the mind or driven by the intellect, or there is a combination of mind and intellect. I can take a workshop on that, a whole day workshop, but due to constraint of time, I'll give you an insight into what it is and leave you to explore. You can get connected. Mind intellect is not a part of the physical anatomy. It is a mere function. So mind is said to be the child in a human. The intellect is said to be the adult. As is expected, it is the adult that should govern the mind. It's the adult that should govern the child. So what is your mind? So take a note of this, because it's hardly known or understood. So, as I said, there is this body, and then there is the mind and the intellect. Now, the mind consists of the various feelings, the feelings of love, hatred, jealousy, greed, anger, etc. Your mind consists of feelings and emotions. Your mind is also the storehouse of the innumerable desires. All your life, humanity is chasing desires. As a result of the mind craving, this morning said about greed or avarice. It means you're not content with it. And no mind is ever contented by itself. In the Shastras, the mind is compared to as fire. No sample of fire is ever satisfied. You throw a log of wood into the fire, what does fire do? It gets started, consumes the log in no time. You keep the fire going, you throw another log or two into the fire. What happens? Consumes. And then what? It is ready to consume more. The fire will consume and burn down the entire forest, and yet it's ready to consume more. So your mind is never going to make you feel happy and contented, because it is the very nature of the mind. It generates endless desires. In fact, in the Shastra, they also give an example of they say the mind is the Ramana in you. Ramana had everything. He had power, he had wealth, he had women he had air from the heavens. He had everything that he could ask for, but yet his mind wanted Sita. See how your mind behaves in the buffet. Not there, but still you keep serving. I can come back and let them replenish. Behind me, oh, I have to feel like that as much as I want. I'm not complaining, it's an observation. You want to grab? Shanti, Shanti. Be content. Mind is never content. So why is it never content? Because it keeps generating desire. Another aspect of the mind is your mind keeps generating likes and dislikes. In fact, in the verse very soon we'll see it talks of raga dvesha. Raga is a like, dvesha is a dislike. So you have a distinct like for something and a dislike for something. You either like what I'm telling you or don't like it. I don't like that. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Always divinity helps, but the convey that. I don't understand. Why? I don't understand. That's all. So your mind is up to, and it's your own benefactors, your well-wishers, your parents, your kith and kin. They are the people right early in childhood that are actually feeding your likes and dislikes. So as you grow up, the mind has become a robust monster. You don't give what I want, go to hell with you. It demands. It puts its foot down and says, you better do what I say. It plays tantrums with you. So in every home, it's like a child is the adult. The parents are dancing to the tunes of the child. No control, because you're pampering. So-called love, you're pampering the child, and the child is doing tandava on your head. This child. And lastly, the nature of the mind. When I say lastly, to get a brief perspective, and the nature of the mind is also it develops attachments. Attachment is just a possessive nature it has got. Whatever it can lay its hands on, it becomes possessive, it's mine. So, what you can very safely say, the mind is there another color? There is. So, what you can safely say is the mind is the irrational aspect of your personality. There is no rhyme or reason. It is irrational. So any of it, there is no reason why it does. No reason. There's no logic. There's no process. It just does. Now, on the contrary, the irrational aspect. So, what is your intellect? This should be fairly easy given the line of thought. The intellect or the buddhi is that which it thinks. Absolutely right. Who said that? It gives reasons. And then what? It discriminates between right and wrong, good or bad. Am I to do this? Am I to do that? It constantly Correct. Judges. What else?
Logic.
Correct. Logic gives logic and reason. It analyzes, etc., etc., etc. Now, if you see this, one side you put the mind, another side you put the intellect. There are two different thought processes that happen. So whatever you do, are you doing based out of reason or are you doing based out of your impulse? Another aspect is impulse. Write that down there, Monk. Write the impulse, please. You impulsively do things. And many a time, you go back and say, I wish, arey, oh, samosa nahi khana tha yaar. Acha tha, but now I am not able to digest the thought of eating. For digestion is a later problem. After eating the samosa, I can't digest the thought of having hogged the fifth samosa. Apart from all that I grab, you know, as I came in, I skipped my lunch today because the time I had breakfast is not the normal time. I would have had my breakfast by 8 o'clock. So today we had, by the time you finish, almost 10:45. It's out of my ordinary schedule, and lunch was at 12:30. In a gap of 2 hours, I don't think it's right to feed anything more into the body, however healthy the food is. So I said, I am not eating anything. I had no difficulty in the decision, but my intellect said, no eating. My mind said, eat, lovely food, free also. It's a buffet also. Eat, no, what's the problem? Young as you are, you will burn it off, no big deal. No, you have no digestion problem also. Put aside now. So your life, my life, everybody's life is defined, is decided by the choices you make. As they say, you're in the beginning of a fork at all your time. Every time in your life, at every moment, you have to make a choice. Am I to do this? Am I to do that? And of the two, one is fatal choice. But even when you're driving, you will have a split-second choice to make. Am I to overtake this lorry or not? Because I see the vehicle coming ahead of me and I have to make that split-second decision. Can I safely overtake? And if you don't make that decision at that point, finish, your head-on collision. You had it. I'm just dramatizing how fatal it can be. And I can, as I said, I can take a workshop on it. Maybe we should take a workshop on this. It is so, I said, not just to mesmerize you with the depth of my knowledge or the importance of the subject, but I said, you can't carry on because one wrong choice, you had it, man. So the mind is the child in you, the intellect is the adult. I'll give one last example. I'll rest my case. The mind is like the flowing waters. The flowing waters, the rivers, the waters from the mountains gather momentum as they come down the plains. It's a torrential river. Take the Amazon or the Ganges or the Brahmaputra, or these rivers are very, very powerful. Now, if the river is the mind, the thought flowing, it is the banks of the river is the intellect. If the river is not contained within the banks, a river which is a blessing becomes a curse. When there's extra surplus of water because of sheer exodus of rain, and when the rivers break the banks, the water which brings livelihood, inundates the fields and homes and destroys livelihood and stock. Something which is a blessing becomes a curse. Now, do you blame the river? Nay. You blame the lack of containment of river within the banks. So the question each one of you got to ask yourself, are you a slave of your mind or a master of your mind? And one who has mastered his mind is a Sthita Prajna. Who said that? Congratulate yourself. You're following the subject matter, because I got to come back to the subject. Otherwise, I'll have a lot of verses to complete. So is nothing wrong to look at Sthita Prajna as one who has kept his mind under control, kept his senses under control. Throughout the 18 verses, you will see one who has kept his senses under control is a man of steady wisdom. Are you satisfied? Okay, right. So, as I said in the morning, the 54th verse, Arjuna asks a question. 4 questions in one verse, and in the 55th verse onwards, a lot of answers. Okay, let's chant 55, please. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Parthamanogatan Atman Yevatmana Tushtaha Sthita Prajnasta Dochyate. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Sing along, chant along. Tiyada Kaman Sarvan Parthamanogatan Atman Yevatmana Tushtaha Sthita Prajnasta Dochyate. Only twice, otherwise we will only be chanting. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the blessed Lord said, what did he say? When one casts off, O Partha, Partha is Arjuna, all desires of the mind. Now there you go. Mind, I said desires. No? So all, what? One who gets rid of all his desires of the mind. Do you know how many desires you have got? पता है मन में कितने कामनाएं, आशा है, कितने हैं मन में? Unginet. Unlimited, endless, countless. Oh my God, that means I might to get rid of all my desires from the mind. This janma not possible. Before you even start attempting, you give it up. No doubt it's not easy. You said it's not easy to be on the path. But one who treads the path and one who gets there, my God, one in a generation get there. 8 billion people, one in a generation goes there. If you get there, you are a Buddha, you are a Mahavir, you are a Zoroaster, you are a Krishna, you are a Buddha, you are a Christ, you are a Muhammad. So that is the purpose of life. They have got it. So the mass of humanity is chasing desires. Just to stand and say to any desire that comes in your mind and say, pass. To say, I will have none at thy hands. Don't play tricks with me. No. Pass. Go. One thing is to fall. It's yet another thing not to fall. So one who has got rid of all his desires of the mind and is satisfied in the self, by the self, then is one said to be of steady wisdom. Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha sthita prajnasta dochyate. Now, I can't go into the depths. I'll just give you a perspective and move on. You ponder over it. Now, in this verse, he's describing perfection from 2 points of view. One is a negative perspective. He says one who gets rid of all his desires. Desires from where? From the mind. So it is not physically sitting. Oh, Guruji sat in his room and he said no to food. But where was his mind? Oh, they all must be enjoying lovely buffet, lovely food. Yo, I am missing all, no? Why? Because I overate breakfast. Not really. Why? I am physically away from the food, but where is my mind? Is my mind in the food? If my mind is in the food, I have not dropped the desires, rather come and overeat here and face the consequences than sitting in the room and thinking of the food. If I am away from the world and giving a license to my mind to indulge in the world, who am I? A hypocrite. In the 3rd chapter, he says, Mithyachara sauchate. You fellows all spiritual hypocrites, man. And the world today, sadly, the spiritual world has got many who are spiritual hypocrites. They are predator priests. In the name of priests, they are predators. Abusing religion. You want to be truly conquering the mind, it is not physically. So I can rather be wherever I want to be. But if your mind is under control, you have got it. Not physically abstaining and mentally indulging. Are you all following? Don't give a license to your mind and indulge. It is one who gets rid of the desires from the mind, all his desires. Now in the next verse, I'll explain a little bit more of what desires are. But I'll mention it here. Take a note. Any desire, a synonym philosophically, a desire is nothing but a mental agitation. Any desire that your mind entertains, philosophically, desire is nothing but a mental agitation. It is a mental impulse and your mind will be agitated. How long will your mind be agitated, sir? Till you get what it wants. If you don't get it, then you have to face the music. Because that soliloquy of the mind's wanting keeps going on. It's a soliloquy, keeps on muttering, it keeps on going. The song continues. But the nature of the mind is, it will be disturbed because a desire is nothing but a mental agitation. You can't relate to the concept. How does your child behave or your grandchild behave when it's not given what it wants? How does it behave? You know the story. Rest of the story you know. It only creates tantrums. It will start rolling on the floor. It starts crying. It makes such a hoo-ha because I didn't get the chocolate. What? I didn't get the toffee, the lollipop, I didn't get it. And that fellow goes on and on and on until, take this and shut your mouth, man. You open the wrapper, push it in the mouth, shut up now. No more noise. Until it melts, he'll be quiet. After that, something else. What is that? That is your mind. You're talking as if somebody else's Guruji. Your mind is monkey mind, she's saying. Watch out, huh? I know. I could read your mind when you said that. I know. Many people say, Guruji, you're a mind reader also. So I could read. No, I know. No, you may deny it, but I know the truth. So mind is like a monkey, huh? Correct. Huh? Yeah. See, she agrees to it. Thanks, sir. You're supporting me. Oh. Sir, the distance says it all, sir. The fact that you sit so apart says it all. So, what was I saying? You've forgotten all what I said. You took only the monkey mind. What did I say so far? What did I say now? The desire is nothing but a mental agitation. So it is safe to say the more desires you have in your mind, the more agitated and restless you are. The less desires you have, the more peaceful and contented you are. But humanity is chasing the desires, not understanding that the mind is created a trap and you fall for a trap. As they say, rat race. Everybody's in a rat race. Swami Ramatirtha calls it as the snare of 99. It's a snare. What's a snare? A trap. And a trap of 99. A person, when he is playing a sport and when he is at 99, what does he want at 99? He's not satisfied with having scored 99 runs. He's like, oh, one more I want. You want ek aur. Or ek aur dila do yaar. One more I want. So he wants 100, that's all. And he says that 100 is elusive 100. It's not that you can never get to 100. It's eternal 99. Because all your life you're chasing. So the negative aspect, he says, one who gets rid of all his desires from the mind, not physically, mentally be free. So you can be in the marketplace and say, I don't want it. Why is it you don't want it? Because Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha. He who finds satisfaction in the self by his own self. One of the qualities of a person who is self-realizing or self-actualizing. You said, how do you measure yourself? How do you measure how far you have evolved? One of the tools of self-evolution is you find yourself very contented and peaceful all by yourself. You don't need anything external to keep you happy. How long can you be happy without seeing this phone? How long can you be away without connecting with the world? Just by yourself. But everybody is not self-contented. So what is the opposite of being contented or self-sufficient? Okay, what is the opposite of being self-sufficient? I'm not talking of quantum here. Insufficient and it is dependency on anything external. If you look at the chart or the information I've given you, it says there self-sufficiency is a capacity not to be dependent on anything external for one's peace and happiness. Page 1, on page 1, sir. At the bottom. So that capacity to be self-sufficient. What happened to your material? Very self-sufficient, sir. I don't need anything external to keep me happy. I'm quite happy. I know, very content. I don't need it. I'll give an example, a story of a simple way to communicate what is dependency vis-a-vis self-sufficiency. There was a torrential rain, and all of a sudden there was a deluge. And a passerby finds himself that he is caught up in that rain and deluge. He would have been swept away by the flowing water. So he quickly climbs onto a tree. And in that frenzy to save himself, he climbs onto a branch which is literally very fragile, very weak. It's heavily pouring, heavy wind. So the tree is swinging in the air, the branch is swinging, and he is holding on to his life very dearly because the branch breaks, he breaks. So he's going to fall down and he's going to be swept away. He doesn't even know swimming, finished. So here is a man who is dependent on the branch for his life. And as he is precariously holding on to his life, in all that chaos, a bird comes and gets itself perched on a neighboring branch. A bird. And what is the bird doing? As the branch is swinging, it is singing. It is enjoying. Now the bird also is using the branch, just as this man is also holding on to the branch. But the branch breaks, he is gone. But if the branch breaks for the bird, it has the wings of self-sufficiency. So are you like the bird living your life, or are you like the man? You need your name, your family, your money, your status, your recognition, all your belongings, everything must be there for you to keep you happy. If anything at peace, at rest, nothing is bothering you all, isn't it? Obviously not, sir. Everything is fine. Are you happy? Yes, sir. I'm very happy. Are you at peace? Yes, sir. I am at peace. Now, the peace or happiness that you're experiencing is not coming from within, it is vicarious. It is dependent on many factors other than yourself. You know your home is safe and sound. You know your car is safe and sound. You know your job is secure. You know your investments are safe. You know your all you have is all safe and sound. Right after this class, you get a call from your neighbor. In fact, he's been trying you. And because you've been told to switch off your phone, you have been switched off. So I'm sorry, I have nothing in my heart, sir, when I say that. Huh? After that, you take, there's 7 calls from my immediate neighbor. And it's an old neighbor of mine. So first you call him back. What happened? Sorry, I couldn't take your call. No, something, I don't know how to tell you, but your house has been robbed. And I took the liberty of going in and seeing the house. They have broken everything and they have looked for valuables, and whatever they could lay their hand on, they have taken. Now I ask you, what is the state of your mind? Still peaceful, at bliss, at rest, or ruffled, agitated, disturbed? Sir, what will be the state of your mind, sir? Your good self? What's your name? It will instantly change. It's instantly affected. Sorry, one extreme, it's like a pendulum, it swing. Why has it swung? Why have you lost your peace within? Because your happiness is dependent on how safe is your home, your belongings. Once your belongings are not in good condition, it affects you because you have developed attachment to them. So the happiness that you claim is not internal, is external. So Asthita Prajna is one who finds himself satisfied in the self by self. So you can be like the bird, be perched, be with your family, do your business, do social activities, wherever you have to be. But remember, you must be like another classic example in the Shastra, they say you must be like a lotus leaf in water. A lotus leaf is born in water, it lives in water and dies in water, but the lotus leaf is untouched. Nothing dampens it, nothing affects it. It is ever blooming, beautiful, lovely. Why? It is always, think for yourself. Everything you want me to give, is it? Must be like the lotus tree. Be in the waters, but I'm not telling you to give up anything, please. One who has somebody, I heard the word renunciation earlier. You said that, isn't it? Was it you? I remember. So, when can you get rid of desires? So he says, get rid of desires, no? Remember, you can never give up anything in life. So don't think of giving up anything. Oh, but the text says, he who gives up all his desires. No, you can't give up. But what the text is saying is, you can't give up anything. You only can pick up something. When you pick up something better, when you grow out of it, the lower drops away. So it's not giving up a desire. You only appreciate something beautiful in life, the lower drops off. So if a guru or a swami is telling you to drop something to become spiritual, there was a young man who went up to a swami because his mom was all the time pestering him. You fellow all making money, running behind money all the time. You must pick up some spirituality, man. So out of respect for the mother, he said, okay, I will learn some spiritual values. So he went up to the swami. And he was hearing a pravachan like this, so he fell in love with what was said. And he took an audience with the Swami and said, Swamiji, I didn't come with this idea, I just came for my mother's sake, but now I think I will pursue whatever you are teaching and what my mother always wanted me to. What is it that I need to do to become spiritual? He said, very easy, very simple. He started asking him candid questions. Do you smoke? Yes, sir. I'm actually quite a regular smoker, not a chain smoker, but quite a regular smoker. You can't smoke and want to be spiritual, so you're going to give up smoking. Are you ready to do that? Okay, sir, I'll give up smoking. If you want me to do that, I'll give up to become spiritual. Do you drink? I'm an occasional drinker. You can't drink on weekends and weekdays become spiritual. No, you got to give up drinking. Okay, sir, given up. Do you do this? Do you do that? At the end of that short dialogue, he had 10 items to give up. For what, sir? To become spiritual. And he took leave from the Swami and said, I'll come back to you. Let me complete the story, no? Everything, jaldi kya hai? Utna jaldi kya hai aapko? बहुत गलत कर रहे हैं. आपको तो 3 बार सॉरी बोलना पड़ेगा. एक बार बोल लेना आप. So this guy started using his buddhi. Ashrama, he started using his buddhi. On one side, I have 10 items to give up. On the other side, I have 1 item to give up. Which is easier, 10 or 1? Give up the Swami. He dropped the Swami. Man, is this how you become spiritual? Nay, not so. You don't have to give up anything to lead a spiritual life. Only inject this wisdom into your life. Automatically, the values for the lower will drop off. You don't have to give up anything. Carry on exactly as you're doing in life, but just inject this higher wisdom into your life and see the transformation. You mature, you blossom. As when the flower matures into a fruit, the petals of a flower automatically drop away. Then emerges the lovely, beautiful fruit. But you need to grow out of it, appreciate something higher. Inject this wisdom. Just that little wisdom into your life and let it do the magic. All the lower desires and attachments and the worries and anxieties, another nature of the mind, add there, worries and anxieties. The nature of the mind is constantly worrying of past, anxious of the future. Okay. Next verse, 56. Dukkeshvanudvignamanaha Sukheshu vigataspruhaha Vitaraga bhayat krodhaha Sthitadir muniruchyate Dukkeshvanudvignamanaha Sukheshu vigataspruhaha Vitaraga bhayat krodhaha Sthitadir muniruchyate. He whose mind is not agitated by sorrow, nor is it excited by joy, dukkha and sukha, vigata spruha, no excitement, oh my God, oh, excited, shanti. The best of things happen in your life, no excitement. The worst of things happen in life, no dejection. My God, very boring life. So morose that fellow would be. Do not misunderstand. Before I complete, do not conclude. It is just a punctuation of comma, not a full stop. Okay. So it's not that a man who has this wisdom is devoid of feelings or emotions. What it means is a man who has this wisdom is not affected by his feelings and emotions. He's not affected, he's not paralyzed either by joy, nor are you paralyzed by sorrow. As they say, it doesn't have a toll on you. Toll mane kya hota hai sahab? Kam hota rehta hai na? You keep losing something. When you pass by a toll, deducts. So, joy and sorrow is a procession of one's life, isn't it? All our lives is a procession of joy and sorrow. Agree? The beauty of it is not to be affected by our sorrow. To go through it and not be affected by it. Not easy. But that's the key. So your intellect is well steady. It doesn't get disturbed by the emotions that happen in the mind. It's very clear. You're not affected by the joy or sorrow.
Does that mean that a person who is super pregnant will have emotions of joy and sorrow but not be affected, or will not experience any sorrow?
Can you all turn to page 2? Not that one. Page 2. Those of you who have not brought your material, try to bring along with you. It would be helpful. So we said there, a plant has no feelings and emotions. Very large extent. You go and hug the plant will not hug you back. You go and curse the plant is not going to feel bad, and by tomorrow morning it will die. Oh, they all came and cursed me. You know, therefore a plant felt very bad and it died next morning. Does it happen? Plant has no feelings and emotions. They have certain, no doubt, they react in a particular way. But that doesn't mean you say they have emotions and all. So plant has no feelings and emotions. An animal has got feelings and is affected by the feelings. You give a dog a bone, it's happy. You deny a dog a bone, it is not happy. You can't go and give a lecture to the dog. Sthita prajna. Why are you being affected? It is just a bone, for God's sake. My dear dog, it's just a bone. Why are you getting so emotional of being denied a bone? Be happy and santushta. Be contented. He don't look at you. What are you talking, master? I don't understand. He still wants a boon. It can't be happy without it. With it, it's happy. Without it, it's not happy. You go for a holiday with your family. You can't take your pet along with you. You left the pet in the best of hands, but you can't, the pet can't be consoled. It is missing the owner so dearly. It goes through the same emotion, separation, how you and I go through when you are deprived of your loved ones. You are enjoying, you are feasting, the dog is fasting. And the moment it knows that you're arrived, by God, it can't be contained. The joy is so much. It is running all over the house. And you say, calm down, I've come now. It's good. I'm here. No, I'm not going. It's okay. It's okay. You're trying to settle it, but it can't contain. It couldn't contain the separation, nor could it contain the reunion. Affected, but only a human. And I marked my words very carefully there when I said a human being has all the emotion, not partial emotion, all emotions, and is designed not to be affected. Designed. So you need to build that capacity not to be affected by emotions. You get it? One who has mastered it, he has wisdom. Now you may say, sir, why does one go through joy and sorrow? Are you all with me? I know it's already been a long day for you all, isn't it already? Already tired? Are you all tired? You can speak up the truth, no problem. Huh? Please. Could you use the mic, sir, please? The microphone.
The dog that you expressed, the feeling of joy and sorrow. Human beings also have a feeling of joy and sorrow in similar situations, right? Now, how do we interpret this from a spiritual perspective? Like, are they not going to express that at all and they will be like a stone? Or are they actually going to behave like a dog, but inside they will not feel it, the feeling of joy and sorrow? So, if you know what I'm trying to understand. So how does a man behave who's actually in studying this term, but is facing this because he's not renunciated and gone to a forest to live in a forest?
So the question is, how does a
Question is that in a similar situation that a human being faces, in the example you gave for a dog, and there are innumerable such. A man who is not renunciated home and heart and does not want to a forest, because then he ejected himself out of it. How does he behave? What is how dog?
the way a sthita prajna would behave is his heart. In fact, do you have that handout with you? Please pick up from your neighbor. Okay, there's one lying here. Just pass it to him, please. Temporarily pass it to him. Can you read the next section by Oliver Goldsmith? Can you kindly read it, sir, for me?
The second one?
Yes, please.
For him in vain.
No, the second, not the third one.
Okay.
To them
his heart, his love, his grief were given, but all his serious thoughts had rest in heaven. As some tall cliff that lifts its awful form, from the veil and midway leaves the storm, so round its breast the rolling clouds are spread, eternal sunshine settles on it.
To them, his heart, his love, his griefs were given, but all his serious thoughts had rest in heaven. As a tall cliff that lifts its awful form, swells from the veil and midway leaves the storm, though round its breast the rolling clouds are spread, eternal. Oliver Goldsmith. It's English poetry. What he says there is, he's talking of a village preacher, perfection, his feelings, he gave his love, his griefs, he shared his emotions with people, he could interact, he was a commoner. While his mind felt for others, his intellect was well anchored, all thoughts had rest in heaven. His intellect is well rooted in the higher values. So the emotions don't topple his intellectual serenity or sanctity. He says, as a tall cliff, when you look at a cliff, vantage point, if you look at a cliff or a tower, if there are clouds, the clouds are all at the midway level of the cliff. Because you're at a higher point than the cliff or the tower, you see the upper section of the tower has the sunshine, the clouds only midway level. So the emotions, the way a human anatomy also is designed, Ashama, the emotions are in the heart. The anatomical heart is the philosophical mind. Repeat it. The anatomical heart is the philosophical mind. The anatomical brain is the philosophical intellect. So all the emotions are felt in the heart. So when you feel heavy, when you feel love for someone, you hold your heart. When you have done a long study, you don't hold your toe or your back or your spine, you hold your head. Because you're doing serious study or something, you hold your head. Why? All the thinking, the rational aspect happens in the brain. So the physical brain is the place where the function of the intellect happens. The feelings are felt in the heart. So as a human, sir, the head must be above the heart. So as Sthita Prajna, in layman's term, answering your question, he feels, but he doesn't allow the feeling to paralyze him. He may even express. He feels sorry. He's as excited as you. So you go with your child to a toy store. You also are quiet.
That separation is not there at all. That separation.
It cannot.
It's possible.
It is possible.
It's possible.
Because a human being has got intellect. A dog, an animal has no intellect. But not to cultivate it, having got it, is a sin. Tantamounts to sin. Man, come on. You have the capacity not to use that? It's a pity. So we have not imbibed this wisdom. We have not learning this wisdom. I'm not being pessimistic, please. Huh? Why these fellows come and giving me all, it makes me feeling very remorseful that I have not led a better life. I wish I led. Not that sense.
This has a strong message for Arjuna's fight.
Absolutely. That's what it is. He said, yeah. Intellectual.
And you should still do your.
And what was the predicament Arjuna had? Very good, sir. What is the predicament Arjuna had? He was not able to separate. Spot on. Spot on. He had a. And you go to the first chapter, very rightly spot on, sir. Your comparison and analogy comparisons, right to the context. Arjuna was overwhelmed with emotion. What was emotion? Am I to kill my own grandsire? Am I to kill my own guru? Am I to shoot the arrow at my guru who taught me how to hold the bow and arrow? Man, what sin? Is there a greater sin than killing my own guru? It's not worth it. I will give up. For what? He was preparing for 14 long years to fight a righteous war, 13 or 14 years, whatever. And as if he did not know whom he's going to fight at. All that planning happened by the 5 brothers. And he was a leader of the army. And the time comes when he has to execute the war. He was a leader. And imagining a leader collapsing. To that man, this wisdom was given and it resurrected him. Perform your duty, man. Don't get carried away with your emotions. Look at the application of this knowledge. And yet we treat it as ceremonial text and put in at a place and give it a dignified place and say, be there. That's what Sant Kabir ji says. Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. Jo sukh mein sumiran kare, Dukh kahe ko hoye kabira, dukh kahe ko hoye. Where is sorrow for a person who has invested his time in the higher values, in the best moments of your life? Everything is going well. That's why I said to myself, I have no known problem. There's no need for me to get the blood test done, but still there's no harm getting the blood test done. Couple of them came and asked me, Guruji, you're also giving blood test? They all suspected something wrong with me. What's wrong in going to the hospital early and not being transported there? Many a time we are transported, it's too late, then head to toe everything is tested. Walk rawly and say, I want to get a test done. For whom, sir? Oh, nothing wrong with you. Yes, but still I need to do. That's how it should be. Not when you are transported there. When you have to invest your values in the higher, in the acme of a life, not in times of despair, it's too late. But one who does that, he is not affected by joy or sorrow. And then the second half of the verse, he says, he is what is desire? Desire. Desire itself is a disturbance in the mind. And what it does is desire produce various modifications. What's your name, dear? Sanvi. Get hold of a mic. Somebody pass a mic to her, please. Sanvi, you have that document with you? Yes. In the last page 2, read.
Desire is the root of all emotions.
Slowly.
One and desire and desire.
So, step by step. Desire is the root of all your emotions, and there are few emotions enumerated there. One is anger. Is anybody in this classroom who don't feel angry? So, no anger at all. No, I'm saying no reduce. Reduce and all, no, I don't give marks for that. Huh? Yes or no? She's bargaining here also. Typical Indian quality, bargain. कहाँ पे जाओ bargain करो यार. गुरु जैसे गुरु bargain करता है. थोड़ा तो हमें percentage. Any never felt that. Now, why do you get angry? Say interrupted. So when you want something, when somebody comes and interferes with you, Mommy, I want to go to the party with my friends. Exams are finished. We want to go just to have some fun. Mom says, no going out. What happens in your mind then? Small volcano erupts. The volcano erupts. And then there is dissent and argument and non-agreement and fight and why always me? Why is it do this? Why don't you do that? I will go. Nothing wrong. Why all that? Because your desire to go with your friends was said no. So wherever there is anger, remember anger is a modification of desire. Wherever there is kama, there is krodha. Kama is desire, krodha is anger. And the intensity of anger, it could be a mild irritation or it could be a serious frustration. It depends on how strong is your desire. I'm analyzing for you so that you can self-evaluate yourself. And anger, what it does, it agitates you, isn't it? Not only desires and agitation, All emotions agitate you. Next.
Fear. Bhaya. Thought of losing object upon fulfillment.
So having got something, you have fear of losing. I have left my valuables in the room and I've told them to clean the room. I hope they will be safe. Some bhaya. Vadada? Vandada? Ama, ingada adu. ஏன் வந்தது? ஏன் வந்தது? ஆமா, அதுக்கு சொல்யூஷன் இருக்க. So the fear, I was trying to talk to him in my broken Tamil. Forgive me, friends, forgive me. But I did. That's a weakness of mine. So you get fear when you have developed an attachment to something, you have fear of losing. You have a job, you have fear of losing the job. Why are you fearful? When you are a conscientious worker, organization, you will be the last to be retrenched. And I have been an honest worker, nothing to fear. If at all I lose, I have the whole world open out there for me to go. Why do I fear? There's no fear of losing anything. Why? The fear comes when you fulfill. So bhaya, the verse gives fear and anger as two emotions. Two emotions are the modifications which come when desire is fulfilled, desire is unfulfilled. So when fulfilled desire, there is bhaya. Unfulfilled, there is krodha. Next, dear.
Greed. Lobha.
Lobha. Lobha.
Oh, lobha. Uncontrolled craving.
Needs no explanation. It is a buffet. Example, write all buffet there. Correct, huh? Huh? That is real greed. अरे क्या यार, इतना देने भी और देना था ना? Huh? Victimization. Remember the example I said of greed earlier in the session today, this afternoon session. I said, what can you all recall? While explaining the mind, I mentioned. That will tell me how attentive you all have been. Yeah, I think only my example. Correct. What is the question? The level of clarity has reached such high level, we are answering without knowing what the question is. Very high clarity. Huh? Asha, what is the question? Please tell her. Just to examples go a long way in understanding a concept. Like buffet was example Rajima gave when we said of greed. What was the other example we gave? I passingly mentioned. I didn't in fact mention it, but passingly. Anyone? Last bench. சொல்லுங்க சார். தெரியாதா? அம்மாட்ட கேளுங்க. என்னப்பா சொன்னாரு? Ravana. Okay. You always feel superior to someone. Arrogance. And when do you feel arrogant? Found success in life comes ahankar. So a quality of a brahmana is vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastani. A Brahmana is one who has knowledge and wisdom and humility. No arrogance. So there's no need to become arrogant to people who are less fortunate than you, nor do we have to feel envious, matsarya, towards people who are more fortunate than you. And all of this cause moha, delusion in your head. So not only desire is agitation, all the emotions, what do you, sir? Do to your mind? What do emotions do to you? No emotion? Is Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajna. No emotion at all. What does emotion do to you, sir? Correct. It creates not just a normal agitation, it creates a hell on earth. John Milton says, your mind in its own place can make a hell out of a heaven out of hell. It is not the world, it is not your life, it is not your situations and circumstances that create a hell or a heaven. It is my own mind. If I am feeling heavenly, it's my own creation. If I'm feeling hellish in my life, it's my own creation. It is not the family, it's not the world, it's not the government, it's not the weather, it's not the COVID, it's not the travel, it's nothing outside, it's your own creation. Therefore, use your buddhi to control your mind. If not, may God be with you. Okay, Sanvi? All this agitate you. Right, 57. Yah sarvatranabhisneha tatat prapya shubhashubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratisthita. Yah sarvatranabhisneha tatat prapya shubhashubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratisthita. In this verse, he's answering the fourth question. How does he contact the world of things and beings? Kim Vrajeta. 57th verse is answering the fourth question. How does he contact the world? He says, he who is everywhere. Man is not confined to the ashrams or his kutia. A beautiful kutia is made and stuck in the kutia. No. He who is everywhere, sarvatra, wherever he has to go, he is a man of action, keeps going. He goes everywhere, meeting good or evil, neither hates nor hates. Now the verses 55 and 56 may give you an impression of a fellow of a Sthita Prajna as a very aloof, self-contented. He is not a man of action. So he clarifies it here by saying, here is a person who is everywhere, goes around, very dynamic, very active. But the difference between him and us is we are also everywhere. Correct, sir? I'm also everywhere, sir. I'm not able to sit at a place. Therefore, I'm very close to Sthita Prajna. Abdiya, correct? Is that the conclusion you can come? Now, I've already mentioned it. What is the difference between Sthita Prajna and us? He also is everywhere. An ordinary man also is everywhere. But the difference with him is he goes about without attachment. Where we go, we are all full of attachment. That's the difference. That's what he says, no? He is everywhere without attachment. Anabhisneha, there is no possessive attitude. He is free. An example I've given of Padma Patramivambasaha, like a lotus leaf in water. Right now, lotus leaf in water is Asthita Prajna. He's everywhere without attachment. Having met good or evil, he neither rejoices nor hates. It could be summer or winter. But what is he experiencing? Huh? You see the quote here I've given you all. What's the quote? For him in vain the envious seasons roll, who bears eternal summer in his soul. Eternal summer, eternal sunshine, all one and the same. Do change whatever you want, conveniently change it. And write your name beneath it. But Oliver Wendell Holmes said eternal summer in his soul. In the earlier Oliver Goldsmith, it says eternal sunshine on his head. One and the same, doesn't matter. It's all poetic description. So no rejoice, no good or evil. How do you practice this? All the time, yeah. But how do you practice this quality? Whether you may create or negativity may come to you. How should you deal with this? Whether it be good or evil, whether it could be joy or sorrow, how do you deal with it? What is detachment? Yes, you must be detached. That's what he's saying, detached. But how should you practice that quality of detachment in your life when good comes or bad comes? When evil comes,
By not being invested in our
intellect guide, but how should it guide you is the question.
by not being interested or invested in our so that's how you get detached. You do what you do. Outcome is good, bad, you do whatever.
Very wisely said. Any other thoughts?
I just observing.
I'm doing what you said. Observing. I will not comment whether right or wrong answer. I just observe. That's all, isn't it? She's an observer, I'm observed. Correct. Be an observer. So when joy and sorrow come your way, don't identify with it. So when it comes, you say, let it pass. Does joy come to stay? Does sorrow come to stay? So what should you do when sorrow comes? Let it pass. Oh, sorrow has come, it's come, now it's here. Oh, it's little longer, it's waiting. Oh, it's ready, getting ready to go, it's gone. Oh, it's going, it's gone, gone. What's gone? Sorrow. Now what next? Oh, another sorrow is coming. Come. Now it is here. Are you going to go? Yes, I'm going. Going, gone. Then next what? Joy. Joy is coming. You can see joy coming. Coming, come. Now what? Yes, joy is there. How long? For a little while. What happened next? It's gone. What next? Oh, is it? Life is a procession. It comes not to stay, but you identify with it. You make it permanent in your heart, in your bosom, and you suffer. Why are you making it permanent when it is impermanent, my dear? In the course of your day, your life for the day is a procession of good and bad, isn't it? Just be a witness. Not easy. First, I must be witness to your problem. Then be a witness to my own problem. You are agitated and your agitation disturbs my mental peace. Why should your agitation disturb my mental peace? I can't understand. So we are trying to paint a picture of a complicated scene. Or it's like a huge jigsaw puzzle. Be very patient and try to do your bits and pieces here and then it all unfolds. A beautiful picture. Yeah.
Supposing,
Use the microphone, please.
supposing, we
ఇంకో మైక్ ఉందమ్మా అది పనిచేయట్లేదు ఇక్కడ ఇవ్వమ్మా పనిచేస్తుంది అది ఎస్ ఓకే
that if supposing practically, if supposing that person is supposed to be split up from there, if supposing he hears that something like drastically going to happen, then would he just be in inaction or would he be taking steps to prevent it?
Example?
Like, so,
I'm only asking so that I can understand the question.
like what I'm trying to say.
Can you put your microphone near to you, please? Yes, closer to you.
Like supposing he has a family, he's living a regular life, and like supposing his child or something, they hear that the person is going to take away his child in that. Then he also, most of the people will be upset or panic. He won't panic. But would he be taking steps to prevent it, or he will just say that, I mean, he will never say that he will pass, but what exactly would it go into his mind and what action would he take?
See, there are the two aspects to what this philosophy tells us. One is you must perform action. Philosophy or spirituality is not becoming inactive or senile. You are active, you do whatever you have to do at any stage of your life. In the third chapter, it talks of karma, obligated duty. Whatever you're obliged to do, if your child is in danger, you have to protect your family, it's your obligation. Who chose to have a family? I chose. Now, how can you abandon the family? Is it not your duty to take care of them, provide for them? Whatever is needed to be done, you have to do. Karyam karma. Having performed the action, every action is a fruit of action. Action, you must be disinterested in the fruits thereof. No attachment, you are completely given up, renounce the fruits of your action. You know, in the 6th chapter of the Gita, we are in the 2nd chapter, 6th chapter of the Gita, he says, who is a sannyasi? Anashrita karma palam. karyam karma karotyah sa sannyasi sa yogi na niragnir na chakriyah. A sannyasi or a yogi is one who performs his bounden duty and renounces the fruit of action. And if you do that, you are a sannyasi, not necessarily one who wears ochre robes and stripes all over his body to portray an image of a man of renunciation. A person, anybody who does his duty, you could be doing your chores at home to provide for your family, and if your family doesn't appreciate your efforts of the whole day, you put an effort to prepare a dish for your family or meal for your family, and they are not appreciative, you don't get dejected. You just feel perhaps they didn't like it, but I've given my best. You've taken something from here and you go back and you prepare food without oil. What is this? You spend 3-4 hours preparing a dish and you want to serve them and they say, what is this? Not affected. You don't deject. Why? You find satisfaction in the effort you have put in to serve the family. That's all. You've done your karyam, done what you need to do. Thereafter, the famous words of the Gita, karmanyeva adhikaraste. Everybody knows it, nobody practices it. Everybody knows it. Karmani eva adhikara. My adhikara, your adhikara is with karma. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Phala is not yours. It doesn't belong to you. It's not your right. But yet you claim right over something doesn't belong to you. So, a sthita prajna does his duty. Whatever he needs to do. It's like you play a sport. You give your best to win. Having lost the game, you go across to the opponent and shake hand and say, well played. You played a better game than me. That sportsmanship is spirituality. That's the spirit with which you play to win and yet you don't get dejected by the loss is being spiritual. You have strived to win. It's not a question of winning or losing. Did I play to win? That's all matters. All right. The picture is not complete yet. Don't create the frame and hang it already. Huh? Another 3 more sessions to go. Then you can hang it. Then you frame it. And then you take it home. All right. Thank you for lending the ears. Thank you very much. So, we will not be, to my understanding, Shivaji, we will not be having our scheduled second session tomorrow. So we will see you all the day after at scheduled 8 a.m. If there is any further notice, we'll go by that rescheduled timing. Okay? We'll conclude with the prayer. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.